Hey there, good looking. Join me for this sweaty, calorie burning, strength building, metabolic conditioning workout. This is perfect for all levels, and this is also day 22 of our Unstoppable Challenge. Now, heads up, you're going to need a couple of pieces of equipment. If you have available to you, grab a booty band. That's completely optional though. And if you have available to you a latex booty band versus a cloth, you might like that better. And then for everybody, you're going to need what you consider are a pair of moderate weight dumbbells. For reference, I have a pair of 15s. Now we will be doing push-ups in this workout. So if push-ups are not your jam, you're a beginner, or push-ups aggravate the shoulders or neck, please have a chair or bench or even a coffee table or couch nearby. And I'm going to show you how you can modify your push-up so that it doesn't suck as much. All right, gather your gear and let's go get warmed up. All right, before we get going, don't forget to start your watches if you have a fitness watch. And if you have different settings of workouts, I recommend a HIIT workout. All right, let's get set up and warm up into the legs. Start with feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out. Now here's a cue for your squat. I want you to pretend that you're standing on newspaper and you're trying to rip the newspaper apart. And that's going to fire up that outer hip. Give it a try. Try to pull it apart. You'll feel everything sort of fire up a bit more in the lower body. Now add the squat by pushing the bum rearward and then driving up. So this is going to help take some of the pressure off the knees by allowing those gluteus medius, or glute med, as we like to call them, hip muscles fire up. Now this metabolic conditioning workout is a big workout, but in a short amount of time. And that's what metabolic conditioning workouts are typically about. They are higher in intensity, but you don't have to go as long. So great for those days that you don't have a lot of time. And they are also great for those times where you may have plateaued and you're trying to push through a plateau. Now this is for all levels because I am going to show you how you can tone it down if some of the moves just aren't for you and you're not ready for them yet. Here we go. Last 3 and 2 and 1. Now, just mirror me. Stabilize on this leg. Pick this leg up, bend it, and abduct it away from the body, warming up into the hips. If you decide to put a booty band on, this area of the body, as well as your glutes themselves, are going to get a really good workout. Last 2 and 1. Other side. So we have 4 movements, compound exercises. That means that we're using multiple joints. So that means more muscles are working. So instead of like for a bicep curl, single joint, one muscle only, we're working multiple joints every exercise. So again, we get a heart rate response as well as many muscles as we can get in one exercise. Last 2. And 1. All right, take a leg and just tap it back and extend up with those arms. Thumbs are pointed towards the wall behind you. Now, as you go with this, if your knees are feeling okay with it, drop it down to a lunge. And then if you're able to, I'd love for you to get the back knee to the ground and then give me a little bit of extension through the spine. So we have 6 rounds, 4 moves, 30 seconds of work. Anytime you can take a break. You just can't leave me, all right? You showed up, you're committed. You're stuck with me now for the next 30 minutes. 1 more each side. Last 1. All right, feet hip width apart, soften the knees, hip hinge, hands under chest. Reach up as you lift one arm up and then the other one, warming up into the shoulders and T-spine. Last 4. 1 more each side. And come on up. All right, if you want a sip of water, now's the perfect time to do it. As mentioned, the booty band is totally optional. And if you can, use a latex. You're going to want some give on this one. So if you're using the booty band, we're going to have it on just above the knees for the entire time. have your dumbbells close by because we're going to be using those throughout, all right? Now from this position, feet wider than shoulders, give me a squat and pulse, and then come on up off the heel. Squat and pulse, heel, good, or jump it. So we've got one pulse, and then add a jump. I know, we just got right into it, didn't we? So the band is really trying to pull those knees together. You're using your hip muscles to keep the knees tracking with the toes. Let's do one more. Time. All right, we're going to take it down to a push-up, shoulder tap. Watch mini-me if you want to use a chair or to elevate your hands to make it a little easier. So take it down. Let's get the wrists under shoulders and then a little wider than shoulders. Spread the fingers. Now, bring chest to ground. And then if you're able to, come up off of the knees and tap each shoulder. Good. Now you can stay on the knees for the shoulder tap. And you can also say, forget it, PJ, I don't want to do the shoulder tap. But then at that point, I'd love for you to do a wrist tap. Okay? And then you can also do a push-up from the toes, right? Time. You good? All right. Now, let's grab those dumbbells. We're going to start with alternating tap back. And then if you're able to, lunge it. Yeah, I know, real fun with the band, isn't it? Now, here's a cue to the band. It's going to move around. If you have latex, it's going to roll up. All right, it's frustrating. I get it. But I didn't want us having to take the band off and on throughout the workout. So we'll just fix it in about 10 seconds. Time. All right. So if you want to fix the band, you're like me. And then we're taking it into a hip hinge with the dumbbells, alternating piston row, working now into our back muscles. Now, a tip with the band too to stop it from rolling on you is to keep tension in it. So your feet are apart, never allowing it to have any slack, and then it'll roll. So that's our exercise. All right. We're moving back into that squat, pulse, and jump in 3, 2, 1. Go. Here we go. Squat, up, squat. I know, no rest, sorry. We just flow from piston rows to squat, pulse. Time. All right, so we've got the push-up from the knees or the toes, and then you'll either tap your wrists or your shoulders. Ready? Take a gaze up above at the top of your mat. Push up. Now try to get that push-up deep. And as you do the push-up, the elbows are going more towards the back of your room. They're not flaring out to your sides. Your wrists are just a tad wider than your body. Fingertips are spread. We're coming up into those reverse lunges, or you may decide to do hip extensions instead. Time. I know, up, down. Sometimes we got to do it. Sorry. Okay, so feet shoulder width. Tap back, lunge it, or just tap the toe back for hip extension. You can do a slight hip hinge as you come down, making this lunge a little bit more glute dominant. It also might feel better on your knees. One more. All right. Fix the band. So we've got piston rows now to work into our back muscles and biceps. Ready? And go. Hip hinge and row. Now, if anytime you need a quick sip of water, go for it. Few more reps here, and then we flow right from the top immediately. Squat pulse with jump. One more row, and go. Now you can keep the dumbbells if you're super crazy and want to do that. I don't. Or maybe one dumbbell. You can let me know in the comments below if you are super crazy. I have mad respect for super crazy people, so let me know. Woo! One more. Oh my goodness me. All right, push up to shoulder tap. Remember, hands are what? Slightly wider than the shoulders, fingers spread, fingertips pointed straight ahead. Elbows point to the back of your room. Come up into high plank. Tap, tap, shoulders or wrists. Good, gaze is up. Moving into lunges. Do one more push up. Tap those shoulders and come on up. Whew. All right, heart rates. Yep. Heart rates are up. Feet shoulder width. Lunge it or tap it. Hip hinge a little bit if you wanted a little bit more glute work. Shoulder to pull back and down. Oh yeah, and breathe. Yeah, the lunges, the band is super annoying. Last two. One more. And release. Whew. All right, piston rows. Ready, set, and go. When we come up, we're going to keep ourselves squared to the floor so we're not rotating as we lift that arm up. We're pushing the knees out against that band, and the band can either be above or below the knee. Let's do one more each side, and then squat, pulse, and jump. Time right now. Feet apart, squat, pulse, jump or heel lift. You didn't really want to rest, did you? Yeah. One more. Time. All right. Push up, shoulder tap. Whew. Fingers spread, pointed straight ahead. Take a look at the top of your mat. Get the push up in. Stay low plank or come high plank. Tap those shoulders or wrists. Breathe. Couple more reps, moving back into those reverse lunges. One more here. Tap the shoulders and come on up. Whew. I'm going to try my band just under my knees for the lunge. Can join me or wait and see how it works for me. Go one. Nope, not working for me. I thought I was onto something brilliant. I was not. It's still providing a lot of resistance. If you have shorts on, this is probably eating up your skin. Get rid of the band. One more each side. Last side. Release. All right. We got pistons. In 3, 2, and let's go. Neutral spine. You know, you may feel your low back muscles. That's fine. We just don't want any pain or sharpness, sharp pain in the spine. So make sure you've got that hip hinge, tailbone up to the ceiling, that neutral spine. And breathe it. One more each side. Back to squat. Now. Woo. Go. Squat pulse. Heel lift or jump. We're on our last 2 rounds. Yes. One more. Woo. All right, push-ups. Whew. Here we go. Fingers just a bit wider than the shoulders. Drop the hips, take it down. Breathe. If you're off of the knees for the shoulder tap, we're trying to keep those hips quiet. Working the core big time with this exercise. Push-up is just essentially a moving plank. So core, chest, triceps, shoulders, bone building, wrists, elbows, shoulders. One more. Coming up for lunges in 3, 2, 1, and up. Whew. We got this. Feet hip width, shoulders back and down. Let's go. I find if I try to keep my feet a little wider for the lunge, the band's not moving quite as much. One more time. Woo. All right, pistons. So feet are hip width, hip hinge, knees are soft, row up. You should be breathing hard now. You should be able to talk, but you really couldn't be bothered to. So if you can have a full-on conversation, we need heavier weights, or if you've been doing the alternative moves, maybe it's time to ramp it up. All right, squat pulse, ready, go. Last round. It's easy to be comfortable while you work out. I need you slightly uncomfortable. That's where the growth happens. 10 seconds. One more. Woo! Nicely done. That one's tough, especially with the band. All right, push-ups. Elbow's gonna point back a bit. Go. One more. Woo. Come on out for lunges. Woo. Or maybe you're doing hip extension. Pick what's going to feel best for the knees right now, especially if you've been doing the Unstoppable Challenge, right? It's been a lot of knee flexion. So always give yourself permission to do something different. If I don't offer it, some good subs to lunges are bridges, one-legged bridges, weighted wall sits, side leg lifts. One more each leg. Whew. All right. Pistons, and then we can take the band off for a little bit and grab some water. Ready? Hip hinge and go. Keep the knees apart, pressing them into that band. Working those hips while we're here, also working our back, biceps, rear delt. Looking up, not down. Nice long neck. Last few reps. One more each arm. Time. Great job, you. That was a fast-paced workout. I hope you do it again because you will get better and you will be shocked at how quickly your fitness improves by adding even one MetCon a week. All right, grab a quick sip. So as promised, we are going to hit the lower abs. Now I'll be using my band. If you don't own one, don't worry. You'll still be hitting them. You'll just pretend you have one. All right. We don't want those heart rates to come down too much. So just add a quick sip. Have a quick sip, pardon me. Now, we're on the mat, okay? And we're placing the band just above the knees for the first couple of moves. Whew. As mentioned, we're hitting the lower abs, but understand that the abs are actually one long muscle. And when you contract one end, the other end contracts. However, there is a way we can place a little bit more emphasis on the lower portion by doing a few tweaks like I'm going to teach you. Remember that no ab exercise is going to give you flat abs though. You need to combine a healthy diet, regular exercise, get enough recovery and sleep, and also reduce your stress. Sorry, there's no magic pill. I wish there was too. I really do. I would give it to you if there was. But it's still hard work and consistency. That's what drops body fat. Okay, let's get ourselves up. And we're going to have the band just above the knees there. And then drop the knees at 90 and the hips are at 90. Now at any time, if you want to intensify any of these moves, you can lift up and hold an iso hold crunch. Now with that said, I am going to do that for one of the moves. If that doesn't work for you because you shouldn't be crunching due to osteoporosis, you'll just keep the head on the mat. Now from here, I want you to pull your belly button in towards the spine. From this position, there should be a little gap between your lower back and your mat. We want to keep that gap consistent. So we're not pushing the back into the mat, so there's no space. And as we start lowering the leg, and then as we get into it, legs, the low back shouldn't pop and the belly shouldn't puff up. So if you start to feel that, you'll just go back to this first exercise that I'm teaching you. All right, here we go. So knees at 90, hips at 90, pull the belly button in. Now slowly drop one heel to the ground. Now you want to keep the legs apart so there's some tension into the band. We're just learning the move and learning how to keep that belly button drawn in as we drop a leg. So again, as we go with the exercises, time, that'll be your base one. Now I'm going to lift up and hold an iso hold crunch. So I'm letting my head drop in my hands. My elbows are dropping out. This is optional. From this position, now take both legs, extend out and in. As we extend out, that low back doesn't pop off. Legs are pushing out against the band, so my legs are not together. Staying in an iso hold crunch. As we drop the legs lower, that works the abs harder. So with that said, you can keep the legs quite high too. Or go back to that first move. Time. Whew. Maybe drop the legs and give the hips a bit of a break. All right, now on this position, we're going to extend the legs so they're just a couple inches off the ground, keeping some tension against the band. You can lift the head up if you'd like, or bring your hands down by your side, or keep the head down. Now open and close. The higher up the legs, the less intense the move. Knees can be slightly bent, but we're moving through the hips. 30 seconds, we're almost there. time. Woo! That one's intense. All right. Walk the heels in so you can feel them with your fingertips. Keep tension against the band. Draw the hips up into a bridge and slowly lower. Let's do it again. Hi, Bella. As we bridge up, we're not flaring the rib cage, getting the motion through the glutes. Now, for the last 3 ab exercises, we're going to bring the band so it's down by the ankles. All right, so let's take the band. It's just on the lower part of the calf, and then separate the feet so that there's some tension on the band. Get the legs up. Good. Now you want to push against that band. If you'd like, bring your hands underneath your bum, draw your belly button in, soften the knees, and slowly lower down, keeping that low back exactly where it was when the legs are here. So if you start to feel your low back lift and your legs are there, then that's where you'll stop. The whole point of this exercise is creating that tension in the lower part of the abdomen to maintain that neutral spine as the legs lower. I find that it's a little easier on my low back if I place my hands underneath my bum. Let's do one more. Good. Whew. All right, now keep the legs up there. Flex the feet. Now we're going to add an open and close with the legs on each end. So let's do it here. Let's open the legs. Go back to feet hip width. Lower. Open. Go back to feet hip width. Good. And this is actually our last ab exercise. Once again, we're not letting that low back pop off the mat. The belly to puff up to the ceiling. Let's do one more. And release. Nicely done. All right, let's get rid of that booty band. Whew. Let's take it into a bit of a stretch for the hip flexor. Left knee on the mat. Right ankle and knee lined up. Tighten into that glute. Woo! Feels good, doesn't it? Inhale that arm straight up and lean away. We'll do a couple of quick stretches. I recommend you do some more. I can add a link here for you guys so you can flow right into the next stretch if you have time. If you don't, maybe favorite the stretch and do it later on this evening or later on in your day. All right, now straighten that front leg, hip hinge. Woo. Now, I'm not sure if I showed you guys, but a really nice way of doing this particular hamstring stretch is by elevating your ground. So you can use dumbbells, you can use yoga blocks, but it really does help you out. We want that hinge to come and that bend to come from the hip. Unfortunately, a lot of us, myself included, are tight in the hamstrings. So when we try to go further, I'll try and show you here. When we try to go further, we end up just rounding the upper back. And that's not where the hamstrings attach. So give it a try. All right, let's do the other side. Lunge into it. Inhale the arm up, lean away. This is a nice hip flexor, side body, lat stretch. You get a few areas stretched with this one. All right, now sit your bum back a bit, hip hinge. Hopefully you built up that ground. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'd love to know what you thought down below. And how did you do with your booty band? So drop a comment down below. Release up. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next workout. Bye. And if you're a beginner and push-ups aggravate you or, well, who the hell doesn't get aggravated by push-ups? They'll, or coffee table or even the side of your couch nearby. And I'll show you how you can modify it so it's not so yuck anymore. All right, that was stupid.